SMT Nation, we back. Nation, I want to discuss this topic here. It's basically a breaking news story here today at the time of this recording. This would be pretty big industry developments if it was to happen. And kind of looking at the way that things are being reported, looking at the language being used, it pretty much is a foregone conclusion. So today, in talking about US Cellular and assets that T-Mobile would want, that's what I'm going to focus on in this video. We're going to talk about Verizon in a separate video and AT&T in a separate video as well. But let's just talk about T-Mobile and US Cellular assets in this one. Link to the article from the Wall Street Journal exclusive. I'll provide a link for that. That'll be in the description. Ways to support us can be found there as well. Please do like and share this video. Subscribe if it's your first time here, and turn on the bell notifications icon to never miss an upload from the SMT. All right, folks, so let's just focus on the T-Mobile angle. All right, so item number one. What does T-Mobile want from US Cellular in terms of their assets? Well, I don't think there's much that they really want or need besides spectrum. I'm not really going to speculate on if they're interested in the customers. Maybe they are, but they would have no problem competing for them in the open market if they became free agents. T-Mobile wins there, so I don't think they're going to want to buy those customers. So I'm going to push back on that. Retail stores and locations, I don't think they're interested. They can get their own retail, right? They don't have to have US Cellular for that per se. Kind of along the same lines as customers, But really, I think what's really important to T-Mobile is just spectrum. They just want the wireless assets. Now, word on the street is, and we're talking about the Wall Street Journal, is that they're looking to spend somewhere in the neighborhood of $2 billion in US Cellular assets. I don't know what that means in terms of spectrum, in terms of the wireless airwaves that they use for the network. At a value of about $2 billion, I want to give you guys some perspective. The low band from Sprint, the 800 megahertz that Dish was supposed to purchase from T-Mobile, was valued at like $3.5 billion. Kind of looks and feels like that. Knowing that US Cellular is basically on a fire sale, T-Mobile looks to want to pay like 50 cents on the dollar. So to me, this looks and feels like low band. T-Mobile wants the 600 megahertz. And what that's going to do is that will give T-Mobile, a large low band holding position. Because remember, that's basically the only low band they use is 600 megahertz and 71. So that to me looks like that's what this is really all about. Now, with respect to regulations, T-Mobile just got the Mint Mobile deal. They closed the merger with Sprint a few years ago. Things have been kind of messy with Dish. I think there's two organizations and businesses that are going to push back and really make this bad on T-Mobile. They're going to offer some resistance. The first is Dish. I think Dish is going to be crying to the FCC about competitive disadvantages, T-Mobile not playing nicely, not being regulated, those types of things. I think Dish is going to push back. They owe it to them anyways, right? Dish, really got screwed over by T-Mobile. So I think that's a foregone conclusion. I'm going to throw in big cable too, not Comcast, but Charter Spectrum. I think they're going to push back on this. I think they're going to say, they've got a lot of spectrum. They've been getting all these favors from all these regulators. Enough is enough. Stop it. Because that's really who they hurt when they take home internet customers, right? T-Mobile takes from Spectrum, right? Comcast plays nice with T-Mobile. Remember the Spectrum sale for 600 megahertz? So that's where I think T-Mobile is with this. I think the goal, the end game, is to get the low band. I don't think necessarily they're really all that interested in C-band and DoD. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're interested in the AWS and I'm wrong. Maybe. I know they're not interested in the CBRS, or the 850 or whatever they hold in some of those places. That to me sounds more like a Verizon and AT&T situation for those other bands. But yeah, I think there's going to be some pushback from Dish, and I think there's going to be some pushback from AT&T. I think there's going to be some pushback from Spectrum. What do you guys think? Do you think T-Mobile's going to get their way again? Do you think they're going to get what they want again? And who do you think, if any, one is going to offer any resistance or pushback on T-Mobile. Next video, we're going to talk about Verizon, and then we'll talk about AT&T. Stay tuned for more content. But let me know what you think down in the comment section below. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.